Hi everyone, welcome to another walkthrough video of Excel Wonders. We're going to look at a template called Scatter Charts template. It allows you to create scatter charts. As you open the template, you should arrive at this page called Regular, which shows the regular form of scatter chart. We also have the one with motion that I'll show you in a couple of minutes. Here you should see first and foremost the chart, and below you see a table. The table contains the items and values that you will be able to visualize on the chart. You can make different selections, you can add new rows, you can move them around and reorder the table however you want, and then you can obviously add values and delete if you want to delete this table. Now, the table has 4 columns. It has the first column called items, which you should be able to see them here. It has a column called status that I will show you in a second what it means. And then it has 2 other columns, each one of them corresponding to different axes. So the first one is the X axis and the last one is the Y axis. As you add values here, you should be able to see the values changing here. For example, I'm going to change this one, Florida, currently Florida, where is Florida? Here it is. It shows us 52. If I change, for example, to 80, you will see the dot here moving to 80. So as you make changes here to the table, you should see the changes automatically reflected here. If for some reason you don't, you can always click here on Update Chart and it will guarantee show you all the information you have here transposed into the chart. Finally, you can also export the chart. So if you want to export into a format that you can make further changes, you click Export. You should be able to see this window here that allows you to select the name, the format, and the location of the file. You click Export and you should find the file there. Now let's look at the one with motion. The one with motion is very similar to the page that I just showed you, the regular one, except for a couple of differences. So first of all, not only you see the values for one time frame, but you have here 3 time frames. The first one that says here 2022, the second one that says 2023, and then 2024. Each one of them contain different values for these x-axis and y-axis. So as you make changes here, you will need to make changes on the other ones too if you want to see different values for different time frames. But the rest is pretty much the same on the table. You can add new rows, you can move them around, you can delete them, and you can add values. And as you click here in each one of these items, each one of these tabs, it will show you different columns here on the x-axis and y-axis, because again, the values are different. The scatter chart on the top above the table should always start with 2022, so the first time frame. And as you click here on the button to play, you will see that every x seconds, and currently x equals 2, it changes the values to the second column and then the third column. I'll show it again. So if you click here, you'll see how the values will change position, and now again. That is because currently is set for 2 seconds. Now, if you want to change that, you can go to settings, and in settings, there's a lot of things you can do. So first, the settings are divided between the scatter chart without motion, and then here's scatter chart with motion. Each one of them have their own settings. For scatter chart without motion, you can change the labels for the condition, which I'll show you in a second what it is, but currently set as status. Status is this column here. And then also how you want to call the x-axis and the y-axis. And the formatting as well can be chosen between a number and percentage with 0 decimals or 1 decimal. Then you can also enable or not conditional coloring. This is what the condition table is for. So currently, if you select, currently is it yes, but if you select as no, and you go back to the chart, all of them are set as blue, and this column here makes no effect, because no matter what selection you make, all of them will be shown as blue. But if I go back to settings and I change this to yes, then I can choose different values here. Currently, the 3 values are possible are completed, in progress, and not started. So if I go back to the table, I can choose different values. And depending on the value that I choose, it will show the chart in a different color. So for example, currently Florida is in green. Why is in green? Because it has the status as completed. But if I change it to not started, you will see now in red. If I change it to in progress, you will see now in yellow. Why? Because if I go to settings, these are the colors that correspond to each status. If I want to make change to the names, I can click here to edit, and then I can make change. For example, imagine that I want to call it not in progress, I want to call it ongoing. If I click Save Changes, it takes me back to the regular scatter chart page, and then here on the status, it replaces all instances of in progress with ongoing. But again, it preserves the rule that all of them that has ongoing, all the values that have ongoing, it shows them as yellow. Now back to settings. The other thing you can do as well is that you can set the axes of the chart, whether you want them to be automatically defined, which uses Excel's ability to then define the minimums and maximums of each axis, or you can choose your own. If you click here manually select, then you need to set here what are the minimum and maximum that you want for each of the two axes, and you should see them reflected in the chart. Now, if you go here to the scatter chart with motion, most of the settings are similar, except for three. First is this one. It allows you to select, to input, what do you want to see as a time frame 1, 2, and 3. This can be years, months, quarters, whatever you want. Currently it's 2022, 23, 24, but you can choose whatever you want. And if you scroll down, you can also choose the number of seconds that as you play the chart, as you play the motion of the chart, how many seconds do you want to show each time frame? Currently set to 2 seconds. You can change it, for example, to 4 seconds or 3 seconds or whatever you want. And finally, when the timer reaches the end, do you want to show a completion pop-up or not? Currently set as yes, but you could put as no as well. And that's it. That's the scatter chart template.